48 degrees, I believe. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm really out here, West Harlem. I'm going live, honestly, because there's some crazy people out here. If anything goes down, at least y'all seen it. I'm just gonna keep it a beam. I don't care. That's why I have this thing live. So yeah, they could find it. But it's crazy out here. And then follow a person because they tell you they don't have it. So me and my slick self, what I did was I basically eluded them. I walked past this scaffolding that had a black and like a black mesh. And mind you, I have on pretty much all white. Brightest one there. You basically hold drugs because now it's really gonna get on the because that's gonna go back automatically. But anything else, like cash, they're a little bit apprehensive because you can cash it out, buy whatever you want. So they'll they'll give you for just one person, they'll give you 300 every month, and then or no, they'll give you about maybe 75 to tie you over towards the end of the month. But the money is there, and because the food is going to go directly to buying food, you can't cash it out. They'll definitely give it to you automatically because that helps the economy. Why can't you just sign up for that? Like I saw this young man. I'm walking to Dwayne Reed. This young man, he begging in front of Popeyes. First of all, who the hell is going to Popeyes on Thanksgiving? Who is going to Popeyes on Thanksgiving? It was empty. I only saw like maybe two workers. Hey, Eric, happy Thanksgiving. How have you been? But yeah, but my thing is, if you're young and able, you know you got a cell phone. It don't even matter what kind of cell phone you have, as long as it's a smartphone. You can basically sign up for public assistance regardless of what state you're in. Now, depending on the type of state it is, if they don't have social distancing rules, you could go in to your local human resources social service center and do an interview if you're a first time client. And you got to use someone's address if you don't have one. But my thing is, why can't you do that? Why can't you just sign up? It only takes 30 minutes to do so. And they'll braille you a card with your face on it. And then you'll be able to get Medicaid. I mean, you'll be able to get on your feet. And then if you're really go to community college, we'll give you extra money on top of grants to pay for you to go to school. There's no excuse. There's no excuse out here to beg unless you're doing it for crack. unless you're doing it for drugs. Come on. They do. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, what about like if you make over $3? That's because you have a job where you have a job where you're making a good amount of money, but the job that you're working on, money is going to rent. Most of your money is going to utilities. So what ends up happening is that when it comes to things of that nature, they'll tell you to do one or two things. They'll tell you to cut back on your hours at work, because they'll do that. Because they'll tell you, because one time they told me, you can't work no more than 28 hours a week. And I was like, okay. Because I knew that if I would have ended up with working about, I think it was like 34, my EBT would have went down. And because of, using that money to basically pay maintenance, helping to pay like half of the maintenance, my utility bill, cell bill, and then having to pay off like other creditors, it made, in the long run, it turned out better for me to just work 28. 29, I could chance it somewhat. But when the lockdowns happened, sometimes I was pushing like 37 hours a week, sometimes 40. And when they was giving those bills, the EBT, I remember I got literally $725 in EBT benefits. Yes, trying to find people to sell you food stamps now is trying to find Waldo in a photo. Yeah, it really is. It really is, because every I don't know. The crackheads used to take the food stamps and trade in the food stamp paper booklet crack. And them crack dealers was really getting money from that. Because what they was doing, they was taking it to people that they knew that worked at like supermarkets, and they would cash it. They would like take in the food stamps and then hand it to the cash. It was really a crazy scheme. It was a crazy scheme. It's a crazy scheme. And I know this because my mother typed up cases like that when she worked for probation. And for probation for doing those stunts like that. But see, when you just like that, you'll be able to get public assistance. And anyway, I think the EBT card is better anyway. Because like, let's say you lose your EBT card, you could like, yes, in New York, Eric, they looked out for us. They gave me $725 and I'm single. No dependents. They gave me, I don't know if you forget, for the month, it's $20. For the month of April, they gave me for the month of April, they gave me $725. May, whole month, because it was two separate times they gave it collectively, it was like $775. So if you had children, you was getting EBT like crazy. And the good thing about it, in New York, our EBT amounts, even the cash benefits, it lasts for 365 days. So I had used all mine up, because that was like 2.5 years ago. But the thing with me, I'm very responsible with it. I wasn't getting shit like that in Georgia. Yeah, because you know what it is? In the South, they like to keep people in poverty. And this is a bad thing about it. Like, the good thing I will say about the South, they didn't have the mandate. So you all were able to work without having to like get the vaccine. If you didn't want it, it was like, okay, fine. Like, I think unless if you lived in Atlanta, they was trying to pull that. But I think because of the state as a whole, if it was a government, like if you work for the state, you didn't have to get the vaccine. But things that like were really important, like how to survive, the South is not frugal when it comes to benefits. They're not like that in a lot of Midwestern states. But New York is the most liberal state. I will say this about New York. I don't like the politics that's going on with these like sanctuary cities. But the one thing New York has always done, they've always looked out for their own financially, regardless of race. Like if you on hard times, they will look out for you, whether it's for food, whether it's, I can't pay my rent, I can't pay my utility bill, I can't do this and that. My kids, I can't travel. I need gas. I need things like that. I need to be able to get car fare. New York will look out for us all. Uh-huh. Yeah, right. So see, that's the thing. If you are pro-gun and you have your weapons open carry, then no. That's the bad thing. Now, I'm going to tell you something. When I was a little kid, my grandmother had a rifle in the house. A sawed-off rifle. I was in Athens, Georgia. Okay. I know about Athens, Georgia. Yeah. But it changed when Bloomberg came into office. Like, if you're familiar with Bloomberg, he was our mayor. I think he was one of the worst mayors we ever had. I don't care. The only good thing that Bloomberg did, city, like a tourist section. He helped to like kind of complete the beautification of it. But it didn't start with him. It actually started with Mayor Koch back in like the late 80s, because of the entertainment industry there was a play called Broadway Babies, and it was all these like child stars and stars from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s that had the show on Broadway. And when they came and saw how New York City was, it was like in destitute. So it was like, we gotta beautify it, otherwise we're gonna lose the city. So Koch basically had to do what he had to do to fix it up, because Broadway was really looking bad. It was too much prostitution, dope heads. This is pre-crack era. It was a mess. So then by the time Bloomberg got in the office, he was doing the last phases of it. But what he did that was bad, he took away the right to open carry. Meaning that, let's say you have guns and you basically want to use it to protect yourself. If you have a vehicle in your car, you could get arrested for that. Even though the Second Amendment states you have the right to bear arms, you can get arrested for that. But if you're in the military and you have that license to carry guns, or if you're no longer in the military, or if you have a gun based on your job, let's say you're a probation officer, and I'm not going to even call a cop, but let's say you're a fireman, they have guns also. Let's say you are a sanitation worker. Let's say you work for corrections. Let's say you are a district attorney. Let's say you are U.S. Attorney General for the state. You can carry a gun. They can't say nothing because it's part of your job. But little old me, well, not little old me, but like me and my, customer service job, I got a gun. They're going to be like, Biffa, you live in Harlem. What the hell are you doing with a gun? I'm single. I want to protect myself. No, bitch. You going to jail. And then I would not be talking to you all, so to speak. I'll be like Toxic Diamond, if you get my drift. But that's not what happened to her. It was something totally different. But anyway, it's Thanksgiving today, and I'm very grateful, even though like my family isn't really here. I don't have my parents anymore. My grandmother is no longer here. My aunt's not here. And my family that's here, they're basically doing things separate. I have my food, which I'm not going to lie, Thanksgiving hasn't been the same, I would say, since 2011 or 2010. 2011, 2010. 2010, 2011. It hasn't been the same. Like, my mother wasn't really big on holidays after her sister passed. So, like in the 2000s, we used to basically do the damn thing. But like a real Thanksgiving dinner with like the good energy and everything, that was 2007 for us. Oh, you conceal carry. Okay. Got it. We can't even conceal. We can't even do that. There it like the you know what it is? It's the liberals. Liberals are afraid of guns. And I understand the fear, but you can't be afraid of a weapon. You got to be afraid of the person who has a weapon in hand and don't know how to operate said weapon. Because I don't have a gun, but I actually going to the shooting range and I know how to shoot. But I don't even let people know that because it's really not anyone's business, so to speak. But the thing is that when you see people go crazy, like, oh my God, they have a gun in the house, they have a gun in the house, they have a gun in the house. That's not, it's a scary reaction, but something must have happened with them. Because I'm not going to lie, back in the 90s and 2000, a lot of people was losing their lives to gun violence. And they was blaming the guns. But it wasn't the guns, it was the people. So because of that, because like knives, perfect example. Knives are more accessible than guns. You could easily harm someone with a knife more so than a gun. Because with a gun, you have to go through like all like, you know, the open and everything. This Chris is gonna be raw for me. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Eric. Oh, my condolences. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, wow. I remember the first Christmas without my grandmother. It was hard. It was hard on us. It was a nice Christmas. I remember we had the tree up, we had presents and everything. But that first Christmas without like your family member after they pass is hard. Like the first Christmas without my aunt, that was rough. And then I lost my mother around Christmas. But my mother hated Christmas. So it wasn't like a big deal for me in a sense because it's like she hated Christmas. She hated it. So it was like whatever when it came to that part. But just, you know, I understand that. But my aunt, that first Christmas with my aunt, that was mind-boggling because she loved Christmas. She loved it, especially down south. But yeah, but it's just, you know, I'm still grateful for the memories, the experiences I had, and things like that. Because there are certain people that don't have it. I know people in this community where I'm from that don't have this. They don't have it. It's like, you know, whatever. It's to them. It's like, yeah, I don't know what that is. Like I have people I know that's in this neighborhood whose parents and them don't get along. So where they call each other bitches, sluts, hoes, and a whole bunch of other names, and they've never had a good relationship. It is what it is. And not the gun's fault. It's these crazy people out here and other people out here going crazy with mass shootings. They can be prevented if people had the guns of death. Yes, that's the thing. And I'm glad you said that, Eric, because that's the real crux of it. The problem is you got these maniacs that have these AR-15s. What do you need an AR-15 for? And then you got people training their kids to use the goddamn AR-15. You know, when I studied, looked up about the AR-15, you know the AR-15 one shot could decapitate someone's head. And I hate to say that, but it could really destroy a person's body. Never mind, you know, deleting them, but just destroying the whole body. That's not good. It needs to not be in existence. It needs to not be in existence at all. It needs to go. Mm-hmm. It needs to go and stuff. It really needs to go. Well, I'm about to jump off of here because I'm about to go inside. Monique. Oh no, that's not Monique. Oh no, they Dominican. The person I know, she Puerto Rican. She Puerto Rican. And so, but I'm about to be off of this. And I'm going to talk to y'all later. Happy Thanksgiving to my subs. Happy Thanksgiving, Eric Johnson. Oh, by the way, I like that the Egyptian Lover record. That was hot. And I'll talk to y'all later. Happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays. And to all of my subs who are Sagittarians, it's Sag season. My mother was a Sag. So this is like, even though this time it's kind of bittersweet, but it's November. So I'm good. So happy holidays to everyone. Take care and have a good night. And stay safe. And if you drink, do not drive.
Hello. Is Lennox that way?
Lennox is that way. Yes. Uh-huh.